Sids, sudden infant death, named in 1969 through about 1990. There was a panic. Sids, babies were dying. At that time in 1969, they didn't know to keep their hands and fingers of the nurses clean. Nurses had long nails, and they'd put their nails in the babies' mouths. This history was covered up, and a lot of different reasons and a lot of different myths were used to cover up female nurses simply putting their hands and or fingers inside of babies' mouths. And the bacteria would cause a sudden bronchial failure or breathing failure. Hence, SIDS went to myth. It's gynocentrism in action. We can't blame the people that were causing the death of hundreds of thousands of little babies because they were ignorant. Parental cocaine exposure, PCE, theorized in the 1970s, 1980s, 1990s. Crack epidemic. Crack babies, cocaine babies, crack kids. PCE, call it by their names. Over the years, scientists have worked desperately to make the myth of crack babies. You look on Google now, and that's all you see, the myth of crack babies, when in fact mothers were putting crack cocaine in their babies by storing it themselves while pregnant, which resulted in premature birth defects, and defects of hyperactivity disorder, and probably a lot of the millennial ADD problem. Mothers were responsible for the use of crack cocaine or cocaine, the drug, while being pregnant, and became addicted, and hence the babies became addicted. Science has worked desperately for the last 20 years to cover up the myth of crack babies, the crack baby myth. More gynocentrism in action. You think we'd learn? MGTOW's been screaming about gynocentrism for close to 14, 15 years now. You think we'd learn? No. Gynocentrism, the propensity to err on the side of the angels, the beautiful ones, the perfect ones. Little Rock, Arkansas, July 22nd, 2018. A new study by the Arkansas Department of Health says a record number of babies born in Arkansas are addicted to drugs. This is typical of most states. A certain reporter's news station found a study of a number of babies with neonatal abstinence syndrome, a new name for SIDS, a new name for crack babies in Arkansas, increased more than tenfold between 2000 and 2014. The studies are attributed to withdrawal syndromes from opioid addiction. Opium. How does the opium get into the babies? How does that happen? The mothers take the opium. The concerns are that opium addiction doesn't show up for 5 to 7 days, and the newborns will already be at home when the doctors find out that the mothers are addicted to opium. What do you think's going to happen? What do you think's going to happen? What do you think's going to happen? Gynocentrism will make it a myth. We'll give it a new name. We will reclassify it as something different, and we will not learn the lessons that MGTOW gives us about gynocentrism, the propensity to err on the side of the angels.